You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I have a cat, 2 sweets, the travel kitty, and a big girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool. Think of a fountain, live in the mountain, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Woof and Super Smiles. Welcome to a Super Smiley adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my handsome co-host, 2-time shelter dog, Super Smiley, who is the ambassador of kindness for the Animal Film Festival. Go, Super Smiley! His latest documentary was filmed at the University of Georgia with the Georgia Bulldogs. It's called A PSA for Kindness, Go Dogs! Yes, and that is actually spelled D-A-W-G-S. It's Go Dogs! It's super short, and it's created to make you smile and to share kindness. And we would just love it if everybody would help us share kindness around the world. That sounds like a monumental task, but just go to kindnessfilms.com, watch it, and share it. And if you write us a review, we'll read it here on a Super Smiley adventure. And here on a Super Smiley Adventure radio show, we explore adventures where animals lead. These can be adventures for fun or missions of animal advocacy or inner journeys of self-discovery where our pets become our healers and teachers. As for me, I'm the pet lifestyle coach. I travel the country with Smiley, helping people adopt the right pet for their lifestyle, and then I help train them so they keep that pet forever. And I'm so excited about today's show. It is huge in scope with 2 major forces coming together. The first is a saint, and the second is the largest animal advocacy organization in the United States. Yep, that pretty much sums it up. First St. Francis Day is October the 4th, and he's known as the Patron Saint of Animals and the Environment. And second, the Humane Society of the United States literally does his work every day. So we want to welcome HSUS's Deanne Thomsen to a Super Smiley adventure. Hi, Deanne.
Hi, Megan. Thanks for having me on.
We are so thrilled that you're here with us. We are huge supporters of the Humane Society of the United States. And one of our recent shows, it was show number 110. I can't believe we've done that many shows. That was live. It's a lot. That was live from the red carpet at the HSUS Gala this year, where mega stars, including Steven Tyler, Kesha, Francis Fisher, they were all there to highlight HSUS's work for animals. And so, Deanne, can you give our listeners a quick overview of the amazing work done by the Humane Society of the United States?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it was such an amazing event. That was our To the Rescue Gala, and it was really great because that event benefited our farm animal protection campaign. And so they're working really hard at reducing the number of animals raised and killed for food by helping large institutions like school districts and hospitals implement really great campaigns like Meatless Monday, and working with major retailers to reduce animal suffering by helping to phase out the worst factory farm practices. So things like, banning extreme confinement for animals like pigs and egg-laying hens so they can at least lie down comfortably, turn around, and extend their limbs, and doing a lot of undercover investigations as well. So that's one area of the work that we do, and that's what we highlighted at the gala.
I love that. I love that you mentioned this because this is something where we can literally incorporate this into our lifestyle. We can buy cage-free eggs, or we can choose to not eat meat one day a week. And I love that. Kathy Freston was there, and she was actually highlighting her gorgeous outfit, which was completely animal-free. And I absolutely love that. And to let people know a little bit more, HSUS does so many things. They work with people in inner cities who have pets. They actually give them the resources, meaning the veterinary care, the training. So they work with animals with pets right there, and they work to help save the wild horses and so many things. What else? I mean, there's just so many things.
So HSUS, the Humane Society of the United States, we're the nation's largest and most effective animal protection organization. We actually just celebrated our 60-year anniversary.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and we and our affiliates provide a lot of hands-on care and services to more than 100,000 animals a year. We also educate and train local organizations. We combat large-scale cruelties and international problems, So some of those things, like you mentioned, we will work on confronting extreme confinement on factory farms. We'll work to fight pet overpopulation and puppy mills. We work to protect horses and other equines from inhumane roundup, slaughter, soaring practices. We work to end Canada's seal hunt and the fur trade, trying to move away from animal research and testing. We confront the wildlife trade and captive hunts. We do a lot of things, like you said, provide vet care and services to inner cities through our Pets for Life program. And then lots of cool things like transforming corporate cafeterias to more of a Meatless Monday and plant-based menu that's healthy and sustainable.
Wow, Deanne, this is like everything. I mean, it's hard to even envision to think of anything else. I know there's always a sea of other things to tackle, but HSUS is pretty much all over it, is what I have to say. But today, This show, I wanted to let everyone know the scope, the huge breadth of what HSUS does. But today, our show is about St. Francis Day, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right?
Yes, it is.
So tell us a little bit, just briefly, because we're going to go into more detail in our next segment, but just so everybody knows, what is St. Francis Day? What is it?
Absolutely. So St. Francis Day is a day that people across the globe celebrate animals, and they kind of honor St. Francis. So this kind of began as a Catholic tradition, but it's gained a lot of popularity, and now we see a lot of faith traditions holding these animal blessings.
I love that. Let me stop you right here because I want to hear all about the blessings, how we can participate in our next break, because there's so much to talk about. And I want to go into detail there because, as you mentioned so beautifully, it's across our country and across the entire world. And we're going to find out how we can participate and how HSUS celebrates this day every single day. All right, after this break. Right, Smiley? Can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your 4-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with Deanne Thomsen from the Humane Society of the United States. Welcome back, Deanne.
Thanks, Megan.
So you were telling us about St. Francis Day, and I interrupted you because I wanted to go into detail here. Now, we've all seen the garden statues of that kind-looking bearded man. He's often got a little bird on his arm and a bunny at his feet. This is a St. Francis statue. So without even knowing about his life, he has actually become a part of our common culture just in our gardens. Mm-hmm. And even though he is technically a Catholic saint, I've seen his statue in Buddhist Zen gardens. I've seen them around non-secular labyrinth meditation circles, and St. Francis Day is celebrated around the world. So, Deanne, can you give us some history on this man? Who is St. Francis?
I sure can. So he's actually really interesting. I love talking about this. So St. Francis, he was actually born a wealthy aristocrat in Assisi, Italy in 1181. And so he lived this extravagant lifestyle and then later became a prisoner of war. And so during that year, he started receiving these visions from God. And so when he was released, he was a very different man. So then at that point, he's in his early 20s, and he really began focusing on his relationship with God. And he felt a call to a vow of poverty. So he started spending a lot of time alone and helping out lepers, but he was also very charismatic. So he quickly drew this large following, and he began preaching kind of more of on an emotional and a personal religion to these villages, but he also started preaching to animals. And we saw that he would, so he would rescue them from danger. He provided them with food and comfort. He praised their nobility. So by the time he died, when he was 44, it was 2 years later that he was then declared a saint and is now referred to as the Patron Saint of Animals. So then it kind of became customary for Catholic churches initially to hold these ceremonies blessing animals on the feast day of St. Francis, which is October 4, sort of the day that was dedicated to him celebrating his life, as that was the day that he died or was sort of birthed into heaven.
Oh, I love that. What a beautiful, beautiful story. And it is interesting. The Catholic Pope now has named himself Pope Francis after St. Francis, because St. Francis did minister to the poor, as you mentioned, and he was completely connected and immersed into nature. And one of the reviews, for lack of a better word, that I read about him from one of the early bishops way back there, way back in a long time ago, it says, safeguarding creation requires us to see ourselves as stewards within creation and not separated from it. So I love that. Yeah. I see St. Francis as one of the first environmentalists, one of the first animal advocates, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because back then that was so contrary to the culture. A lot of cultures, they dominated animals. They used them as servants. And St. Francis, boom, he opened the eyes to our eyes to a different way of looking at animals. And this ties in so specifically to the Humane Society of the United States. Thank you so much again for joining us. I'm so excited. And I want to let our listeners know that HSUS actually has an entire department centering around this our deep connection to animals. And my listeners, they all know that this topic is so enmeshed with our perspective here on A Super Smiley Adventure. I see animals as healers, as teachers, and we humans as their stewards. And I was at lunch with Wayne Baselli, who's the CEO of HSUS, and I was telling him about how I look at animals in this way and I learn from them. And he said to me, you have to meet Christine Gutleben. Christine was just starting this new department for HSUS, and I think back then it originally included St. Francis's name. I'm not positive about that, but I think it was called the St. Francis Files. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, Deanna, it's officially the HSUS Faith Outreach. Is that correct? Is that the right name?
Yep, Faith Outreach.
So tell us about it. This is your department. Tell us about HSUS Faith Outreach.
Absolutely, I would love to. So in Faith Outreach, we engage people of all faiths on animal protection issues on the premise that religious values call upon us to be kind and merciful to all of God's creatures. So we really, this isn't a new concept. We're rather lifting up a tradition that's already in existence because all major religions have statements on animals. And so we just really want to help equip people with the tools so that they can really start including animals more in their ministry and their outreach efforts. And so we have a lot of really great programs for people that are all free resources for people to kind of start doing that.
That's wonderful. And you were just in Los Angeles. Well, I know that you're based there, but you just did a beautiful talk at the Hollywood office. Is it still called the Hollywood office there for HSUS?
Our LA or Hollywood
offices. Yes. Yes. And so you did I've gone to a lot of those meetings. They call them sort of like, I don't know, we call them town hall meetings. I'm not sure if that's what they're still calling them, but where people are invited to come and hear someone like you from the Humane Society of the United States give a presentation on one of the many wonderful, wonderful programs. And Deanne, you mentioned that a lot of the major religions have statements on animals. Can you mention one of those? Can you just educate us a little bit?
Yeah, for example, we have these really nice kind of documents on what the major religions have to say, so people can pull from those as a really nice resource. But if you look at the Christian faith, a third of the globe actually follow the Christian faith, and so you can see, the Bible is full of stories and of things that God says about animals. Also, if you look back, the oldest religions include the Indian Dharmic faith, so like Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and they're rooted in the central pillar of ahimsa, so not causing harm to any living thing. So you can see from very beginning, and in the Bible, we see from the beginning in Genesis 1:29, where, everything that has the breath of life in it, God says, I give every green plant for food. to Isaiah 11:6, where it talks about sort of this peaceful restoration to come, where we kind of all lie down together in peace again, the animals and the humans. And then everything in between. One of my favorites is Psalm 24:1, and that says that the earth is the Lord's and all it contains. And that really means that animals are not ours. They belong to God, but we are entrusted as their caretakers.
I'm laughing with recognition because that is so the way, my perspective. I believe that we are animal stewards, which to me means that we are here literally to take care of them. And if we are open, if we move our giant, important human egos to the side, we can actually learn from the animals. And that's what my show is all about, is animals are healers and teachers. And I joke and I say that I don't know anything. Super Smiley tells me everything to say. He writes my script. So, I'm right there with you, Deanne. And as you mentioned, traditionally St. Francis Day is celebrated around the world on the days surrounding October 4th. And across the United States, people bring their pets to churches. It's all over the news. If you all turn on the news on Sunday evening news, I guarantee you there's going to be some story on pets going to church that day. And the churches have them participate in what's called the blessing of the animals. So, Deanne, do you have a pet? Are you taking your pet to church? What are you doing on Sunday? What are you going to do?
I do have a pet. I'm a rescue cat, and he's my little love. I will not be taking him. I don't think he would appreciate it very much if I took him out there. So yes, we always encourage people to find a pet blessing, or encourage their congregation to hold a pet blessing, because it's such an important time. It's already a celebration when we're talking about animals. So let's take advantage of that, and maybe they can do other things surrounding that. They could do, maybe the pastor, the priest, or the rabbi could do a message on creation care and animal stewardship, followed by a nice little ceremony, a prayer for the animals and bless them. And there's many other things that that we could talk about that you could surround that with. But yeah, I think it's great if you can bring your pets, and if they don't want to go, people can bring pictures of their pets.
Yes,
and then
that's
we're
a
actually
beautiful
seeing,
idea. Right. Because I've seen people like your kitty cat doesn't want to go. And let's talk to that point right now. First of all, if your church is having a blessing and your animal is social and confident, yes, bring them. But I love your point, Deanne, that your cat would not want to go. So everybody, let's just do a little PSA here. Be respectful of your animal's wishes. If they would not enjoy it, then take a picture. I love the idea of taking a picture. I've seen the Pope in the media, and he's blessing pictures of people who are sick in the hospital. So I love that idea. And I just want to say that Super Smiley and I are in our North Carolina studios right now. So we'll be at the St. Francis Episcopal Church on Lawndale this Sunday. And I just found out that Donna Lawrence and Super Smiley's best friend here, Susie of Susie's Hope, she's going to be going with us. The official blessing of the animals starts there at the St. Francis Episcopal Church at 3:30. So if you're in Greensboro, come see us. And Deanne, it sounded like you were starting to say, if there isn't a church doing the blessing in your area, or if people don't want to participate in that way, going to church, what are some of the other ways that we can remember and celebrate St. Francis Day?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I wanted to say, some churches, there's a lot of churches doing that, but we're also seeing zoos and sanctuaries doing that. We have a blessing coming up at our Black Beauty Ranch sanctuary, so it's really fun. But yeah, if you're not doing that, this is a time to really, I think, consider what we can do throughout the year as well. Kind of use it as your launching pad, where the church is already talking about animals, and then how can we keep that momentum going? So
I love that.
You can do, so you can do a blessing, you could do a sermon, but if not, maybe you could consider doing it that same day or another time that year, maybe doing a pet food drive. We have a really great program, Fill the Bowl.
That's a good idea.
And so you can encourage people to bring in donated items or food or supplies for needy animals in your community, maybe a food pantry or a shelter or rescue group, and they can bring in those items. So that's really fun. Some churches are actually doing that year-round. Some just do it for St. Francis Day or for the holidays. So that's one really great way. It's fun for the kids to get involved.
And schools could do that. It doesn't even have to be a church. This could be a secular activity, just honoring the messaging of St. Francis. They could do it at schools, or like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, YMCAs. I love that. And also, another idea is, like I said, if they don't have a church or you're not interested in participating in that way, some people take a nature walk Just go out in nature and listen to the birds, take the kids for a walk, and then have them write about the importance of nature and how we can nurture it. So even though St. Francis is technically a Catholic saint, you can still honor the messaging by not participating in a church at all and still embrace the entire message, which I love. I think that the true messages are ones that are universal and are not necessarily tied to a specific tradition. And I love that. Yes. And and I didn't mention, there are all these things I want to mention that today our live studio audience, yes, we actually do have a live studio audience. They're joining us live by Skype from Malibu, California. And today in it is our special guest host, Kim Swartz, and our beautiful German Shepherd, Angel, is listening live, and Kitty Bitty, our feral kitty cat. And I'm telling you about this because they will be at Our Lady of Malibu this Sunday, October 2nd for the blessing there. So my bi-coastal pack will indeed have both coasts covered. Yay. And Deanne, here's something else I want to share with you and with the listeners. Super Smiley worked with inner city kids in downtown Los Angeles, and we brought the kids up to Malibu one year for the special blessing of the animals with Super Smiley. And those kids, these were true inner city kids. They had never been out of the inner city. They had never seen the ocean right there in LA, had never seen the ocean. So this was a blessing in so many ways. And I want to tell you all more details on that. And I want to hear more about Deanne's cat right after the break. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Hi, I'm Dana Humphrey, the founder of Whitegate PR. We have been specializing in PR and marketing in the pet industry for over 10 years. If you have a pet product or service you would like to promote, give us a call. We can help create awareness for your brand on TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, and blogs. Feel free to reach me directly at 619-414-9307 or learn more on our website at whitegatepr.com or follow us on Facebook.
Begging to hear more of your favorite show? Full episodes of all our shows are available on demand. Go to PetLifeRadio.com to fetch our entire lineup of Possum Pet podcasts. Also, dig us up in iHeartRadio Talk and iTunes. Let's talk pets. Live and on demand only from Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Frances Fisher, and you are on a super smiley adventure.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with Deanne Thomsen from the Humane Society of the United States. Welcome back, Deanne.
Thanks, Megan. Happy to be here.
And Deanne, one of the constant themes of our show, which I have mentioned here, is that animals are healers and teachers. So first of all, what's your cat's name? I didn't catch his name.
His name's Tyrone.
So has Tyrone taught you anything? Has he given you any bits of wisdom that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, gosh, that's a long answer, probably. He's taught me so much. Well, I've had him for 12 years. I got him as a little baby. He's a foster failure, cutest thing, little Siamese mix kitty. And so I've had him for a long time. And I think, in that time, I think that what I really see is sort of the creativity of God in him. I just see, I think that there's so many things he does. He's hilarious. He'll leap down the stairs to greet me when I come home. He'll supervise me when I make dinner. He plays fetch and brings it back, so I'm proud of him. He'll start purring just when I look at him, or just knowing that we're going to snuggle. He's an excellent DJ. He has a turntable scratching post. He's really good at that. And so I think I just see the creativity of God in him, and I think that it really extends to other animals. So a lot of times you see, even lately, we're seeing a lot of these studies coming out that say, proof that animals have feelings or proof that fish feel pain.
Yes.
And it just seems so silly, especially to those of us with pets, because we see this every day, their personalities and how they feel love and joy and pain. And so I think that having pets really extends your love for that animal to all creatures. And you sort of have this increased empathy, and compassion for them, which kind of translates to all your decisions. So for me, it's like I look at him and I think, gosh, look at how much I love this animal. If he was a pig or a cow or a chicken, I would love him just the same. And I think that having pets really helps us make that connection.
I love so many things that you just said, Deanne, that empathy, they teach us empathy and they show us how to extend that empathy to other creatures. Beautifully, beautifully said, Deanne. And I loved your choice of words supervise, because I know I've had dogs supervise me. My horse supervises me doing the Starfire supervises me in the stable, because they do indeed supervise. That was a perfect word. And also I wanted to talk a little bit more about these inner city kids, because talk about lessons. This was just an amazing experience. These were from the wonderful Salesian Boys and Girls Club, which is a Catholic-based club in Boyle Heights, adjacent to downtown Los Angeles. Super Smiley and I did a 7-week program with the kids in 2012. It was called the Kindness with Super Smiley, Teaching Kids Kindness Through Animals. And the film short that we created, you all can go and see our project. It was a very, very short little film short, and it won at several film festivals, and we are so proud of it. It's on our YouTube channel right now. It's called Kindness, a Dogumentary. And our super producer, Mark Winter, wrote a song based on our kindness work through animals, which is now a part of another film, an animated film called Kindness, It's Super Smiley. And I have to say that was animated by the amazingly talented Out of Our Minds Animation Studios. And these films are on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Megan Blake. Really easy to remember. And we'll be sharing those videos on Facebook and Twitter for the St. Francis Day consciousness, because they're just perfect, sharing the kindness, sharing the empathy. And Deanne, I'll make sure to send that to you. How can we follow you and keep up with you in HSUS Faith Outreach on social media, or how do we keep up with you?
Yeah, well, you can find us at humanesociety.org, and then you can do /faith to find our department. We're also on Facebook. Yeah, so, and then, you guys, I can always give you my email, and people can reach out to me directly as well. Okay. If anyone has questions, or if they want to get involved, or they want to learn how they can engage their faith communities for animals, I would love to talk to them about that. We have volunteers across the country doing really amazing things at synagogues, temples, mosques, churches, college campuses, you name it. So if anyone wants more information, you're welcome to email me. It's dthomsen, so THOMSEN @humanesociety.org.
Perfect. And that's D as in Deanne. So there we go. So everybody understood that. And we were talking about the HSUS Gala, but I also want to mention the HSUS Genesis Awards. We were so fortunate here at A Super Smiley Adventure and Pet Life Radio to be able to participate in this iconic event. It went on for many, many years, which I always referred to as the Academy Awards for Media Advocating for Animals. And it was star-studded beyond belief. Winners included Ellen, Oprah, Paul McCartney, and our show here, our Super Smiley show, won a Genesis Awards honorary mention, and we were so very, very honored by that, to be acknowledged as participating and moving forward this huge mission of just highlighting animals. It's so important. They're such an important part of life with us on Earth. And Deanne, I know the Genesis Awards were actually before your time, but you heard about Gretchen Wilder. You know a little bit about it, right?
Yeah, so she's the founder of the awards and wanted to really acknowledge the media for their messaging that supports animals.
Right,
and she's a true visionary in the mission.
Oh, yes, she was. She started a long, long time ago as an actress and dancer on Broadway. And this was way back when everyone was wearing fur coats. Everyone was wearing boas and the feathers back then in the stage. But she was a true visionary because she, in the midst of all this glamour, she just didn't think it was right. And she did not do it. And she was a true maverick in this. And she wanted to honor media that would support this thinking. And so Gretchen Wilder is now up in heaven and we're sending out good thoughts to you, Gretchen. Thank you so much for starting all of us on this path. And once again, this brings us right back to the mission of St. Francis. Oh, here's a tough question. Deanne, what thought do you think St. Francis would want to leave us with today? What would he want us to share with people today?
Well, St. Francis really called all creatures his brothers and sisters.
Yes.
He believed nature was the mirror of God. And, I think that Gosh, that's a good question. What would he say to us? Just really making that connection. Doing what you can. Don't feel like you have to take a vow of poverty like him to make a difference in the world. You can make differences. You can do something every day to help animals, just starting with your plate. What kind of life did that animal live? Are you considering getting an animal? Go adopt the animal. There's so many little decisions we make throughout the day. Are our products tested on animals? There's so many things to really start being compassionate consumers and really making that connection and treating animals like our true brothers and sisters, that they're here with us and not for us.
That was perfect. Oh my gosh, Deanne, that was so well said. And I think that's what I would have said, the part exactly what you said about every day. St. Francis would have said, embody my mission and my vision every day in life. And that is exactly what you said. I love that. And Deanne Thomsen, you are just awesome. We love and respect the Humane Society of the United States so much. And I want to thank also Wayne Baselli for being your fearless and amazing leader.
Yes,
and to everyone who works to support. Yes. Thank you to everyone who works and supports the mission at HSUS. And Deanne, again, one more time, where can people go to see more about HSUS?
Yeah, you can go to humanesociety.org and learn all about it.
So simple. And thank you to our super producer, Mark Winter, for bringing a super smiley adventure out to the world. And thank you to our amazing pet-loving audience for joining us today. And right now, that is right after the show, if you're not driving, go to kindnessfilms.com or youtube.com/Megan Blake to see some of our kindness documentaries. They're perfect for the St. Francis message of stewardship. And once again, thank you so much, Deanne Thomsen from the Humane Society of the United States, for joining us. Thank you, Deanne.
Oh, thank you, Megan. It's such an honor to be on. I just love your show, and this was really fun. So thank you so much.
We loved you being here. And from all of us here at Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure, we hope you love all your adventures with all your pets. And until next time, woof and super smiles.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.